patient to hear you as well. So from Nestlé Professional, just a personal story. The way we met, because it's the first time we're meeting in person, I gave a keynote speech at Nestlé for International Women's Day on digital boarding, digital leadership. And there was a webcast. There was no pressure at all, like worldwide. And yeah, right. And Arti was actually listened and watched. I don't know if you watched or listened.
I watched it, yeah.
You watched it. And she reached out to me and said, listen, I like what you do. I want to help. And I was like, yeah, that's the purpose of Women in Digital, right? And just like that, and say, yeah, well, come on, be a speaker. And then I learned about what you do. So you work with IoT. For many people, like for a moment used to be just, Apple Watch and stuff like this. But it's just not that. And for business in particular, and for Nestlé Professional, you're going to be telling us what it is. But just to give you, this bio is shorter. I'm not saying that long bios are not good, but it's easier for me. So with over 17 years of experience split between FMCG and media, Arti currently leads connectivity transformation projects at Nestlé Professional. Your passion lies in bringing together business, people, and technology, that's our passion too, to create outstanding experiences for customers. After hours, she mentors women startup founders. We still need to talk about that, and maybe connect with Tatiana as well. Another thing for us that is important, and I think you're going to be mentioning this, and we heard this today, not exactly in those terms, that we want technology to meet human, not the other way around. And I think that's why you guys are trying to do so. A big round of applause for Arti. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Thais. I'm very aware that I'm the only one standing between lunch and you. And I apologize in advance if you hear my stomach growling, because after years of living in Switzerland and eating sharp at noon, this might just go all right. So thanks very much, Thaisa, and thanks for putting together this amazing event, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to this brilliant audience. I want to start by, I was in Mumbai the last 2 weeks. I got back just day before yesterday, and spent a few days with my parents. My dad's always been very interested in what I do, what my work is. And when I was younger and working in Mumbai, I used to be very abrasive, and I used to dismiss his questions and just, try to shorten my answers and explain to him. But now, I'm wiser. I'm a little bit more calm. Can you hear me? Yeah. I'm wiser. I'm a little bit more calm. And I have my own 4-year-old, so I'm much more communicative. And I was telling my dad how, there's this event coming up in Geneva, and I'm going to be talking. And of course, he was very interested. What am I talking about? So I was telling him it's about Internet of Things, and I was trying to explain to him what this is. And I was telling him, it's about things being connected to the Internet. So he's like, yeah, like the laptop and my computer. So I said a little bit more, so I'm thinking of simple objects in my head, like the refrigerator can be connected. And then my mom, who's in the kitchen, overhearing a conversation, says, yeah, like light bulbs. Light bulbs are connected to the Internet. So this is it, my 70-year-old mom living in a suburb in Bombay understands that light bulbs are connected to the Internet. And like Tatiana, you said, it's not the future is not out there. The future is here. It's today. We are surrounded by objects that are connected to the Internet. In fact, Gartner predicts that by 2020, which is the day after tomorrow, 20 billion objects are going to be in use. Connected objects are going to be in use. And just for reference, the population of the world is 7.3 billion. So just imagine the scale of connected objects. What are these objects? Like I mentioned, the light bulb, your refrigerators, your ovens, jet engines, vending machines, your sofas could be connected. There are wearables that everyone is aware of. They're connected via Bluetooth. They're connected to private networks. They can be connected to public networks. And basically, these are objects with embedded technology inside them that are aware of their being, they're aware of their state, they're aware of their external environment, and they're able to therefore transmit data, communicate with other objects, and in many cases even receive information and are able to take decisions or and change their state or change the state of the environment around them. And what this essentially is doing, it's not going to do, but it's actually what it's doing, it's changing the way companies are managing their businesses. We've heard a lot about that. I'm going to have to be careful over here. So companies are looking at this data. They are looking at what the behaviors of these objects are, how people are interacting with them, and it's impacting the way they are today. It's impacting the way companies internally are organizing themselves. It's impacting the way they talk to their customers, the way they interact with their customers, and the way they interact with the end consumers. Not only that, it's going to change, and it's changing the face of the businesses that they do. So you sleep tonight as company A, and tomorrow you just wake up as a different company, providing just different, having a different business model. There's many benefits of IoT, and a lot has been written. Some are obvious, some are not so obvious, but I think we can essentially classify them into 4 themes. The most obvious and the most well-known and most talked about is obviously reducing waste and increasing operational efficiency. So if you know something, then you can make it better and you can reduce the noise around it. When you have data, you bring in insights, and when you bring in insights, you have the ability to be proactive to your customer instead of being reactive. So it's all about creating better experiences. There's a lot that's been said about improving health and safety, especially worker safety for workers working in industries such as mining, construction. So companies have given wearables to their workers so they can monitor their state and then take them off work when there is fatigue that sets in, or they're able to monitor the equipment better and able to do preventive maintenance so that it doesn't break down and also doesn't harm the workers. So there's a lot of work going on with respect to that. And of course, there is no conversation that is complete when we talk about data. So there's personalized marketing. Not going to dwell too much on that right now.
Love the pictures.
That's my son. I have IP rights issues when I present on behalf of Nestlé, so I decided to take my own pictures. But essentially, really, for me, what it boils down to is providing service, or providing services, as it were, to the end customer. I strongly believe that the days of products, I may even go a step further and say the days of brands are at the fag end. You are working in a world where manufacturing is democratized, distribution is available to everyone. So what is it that you're really going to bring to the table? You will need to wrap your traditional products with value-added services to stay relevant. So with apologies to Genji Kahoon, I do strongly believe that service is the new black. So let's come back to the light bulb, the famous light bulb. To give you an example of how this has to happen, traditionally your tungsten light bulb would cost a couple of cents to make, and then you would sell it for $1. Now you have the LED bulbs and you're selling it for $4. But how do you compete in a world where a competitor is giving away a $20 connected LED bulb for free to the end consumer? Why is she giving it free to the end consumer? This light bulb, it's smart. It can get connected to multiple grids, so it can decide where to take electricity from based on the most efficient source available. It is connected to a cloud-based service, so it is able to send a security alert when it senses that there is movement in your house when there shouldn't be any. It can sense your grandmother's living 200 miles away. It can sense that she's not taken her medication, she is fallen down, and it can send an alert to the local emergency services or to the first responders. So instead of selling a $4 bulb and making a one-time transaction with the end consumer, you're now able to create a longer-term relationship, a service-oriented relationship with the end customer. So you are able to keep the customer for a longer period, as long as, of course, you keep delivering on the service promises that you have. So essentially, moving from a commoditized product and converting your business into a value-based service business. You're completely changing the business model that you have. Now that's a fairly academic and a well-known example, but I'd like to actually talk about a little, not a little company, but a company that I came across 2 years ago, Big Belly. So this company has actually made that transition. I heard a talk by the VP of marketing of this company, Big Belly, Lydia Dillon, 2 years ago in Barcelona at the IoT World Congress, and I've been a fangirl since then. So Big Belly originally manufactured trash bins, so they are solar-powered trash bins, and they can compact the trash to a really large extent. So basically, these trash bins can actually take in a lot more amount of trash than your traditional rubbish bins. Now, Big Belly's customers would typically be municipalities, large universities, organizations with big campus grounds where they really need to manage their waste. So a few years ago, Big Belly made the transition from being a product selling company and they converted the entire business model into a revenue or a subscription-based service. So, excuse me, what they essentially did was, so they had the Big Belly, the trash bin, and to that they attached what they call a smart belly. So there are sensors inside the belly now, and the sensors are able to understand what is the state of that particular bin. And then when the time is right, the sensors send information to a platform, a web-based platform that the customers can access. And to make a long story short, they understand that now this is the point in time that the trash bins are now full and that they can send their trash collection service to pick up the trash. Now, most municipalities or organizations such as this are usually kept their trash collection service at peak level at most times. But now that the customers had information on when a particular trash bin is full, they were obviously able to manage the routes of their trash pickup service better. Not only that, as time progressed, they had historical data, so they were able to predict when certain trash bins on certain days are going to get filled up faster, so they're able to anticipate trash collection even in a more efficient way. So all in all, their customers were able to reduce their truck collection, or rather trash collection service, by 80%. So imagine that if you're doing 10 rounds a week, you're now only doing 2 rounds a week. So there's obviously, reducing the amount of fuel, reducing your carbon footprint, and you're able to provide essential services, because if you don't collect trash, no one notices it when you do, but when you don't, it's a big problem. And you're able to provide essential services at a lower cost. So again, the point is, one day they were a product manufacturing company, they woke up the next day and they're now a software service provider. So what has all this got to do with me? What has all this got to do with Nestlé? Traditionally, Nestlé Professional has been a food services, a beverage services company. So what our business has been for decades is we provide, since I work for the beverages business, we provide coffee to various customers. And our customers can be institutions like this university, So there's coffee being provided to the staff over here, there's coffee being provided to the students. Sometimes coffee is subsidized, sometimes you pay for it, sometimes it's free. Our other customers could be hotels, hospitals, so wherever you need to provide coffee. Most of our customers so far have been coffee has been an important element for their business, but it is never their core business. So how we have been making our money has been like we put a coffee machine free on loan, as it were, and our revenue streams essentially come from the ingredients that pass through the machine. A few years ago, so we wanted to move on from being a coffee ingredients provider to really a total solutions provider. Over the last few years, you would have seen coffee is cult. It's become, hipsters notwithstanding, it's become a trademark. It's as important as wine. It has these nuances. So everyone wants to be part of the wave. So offices want to be able to serve better coffee to their employees. You have kiosks which sell coffee. They want to leverage the trends of specialty coffees like cappuccinos, etc. And this is happening across the world. And we wanted to help our customers become these beverage destinations. So amongst a series of things that we did to achieve that vision, one of the things that we also did was to make our vending machines, make our coffee tabletop machines smarter. So these machines essentially have embedded sensors inside them, and they are able to capture various kind of events and information that goes inside the machine. So for instance, the machines can tell us if they're dispensing beverages or not. If they're not dispensing beverages, we can understand why they're not dispensing. So if there's an issue, we can try and solve the issue remotely. So that saves a technician, that saves a visit from a technician. If the issue with the machines cannot be solved remotely, then we're already better prepared, so our technicians know exactly what to do, and if they know that they cannot fix it, then they already go with the replacement, so they can put a temporary machine and come back. So our objective is to reduce machine downtime as much as is possible, because nothing pisses off people more than bad coffee or no coffee. On the commercial side, we also get various kinds of information. So we know how many machines we have, what are the kind of beverages they're dispensing, so how many beverages are they dispensing, is it cappuccinos, espressos, is it hot chocolate, what time of the day, what day of the week are they dispensing. So what that allows us to do is, one, we know how our machine park is performing, because at the end of the day, these are assets for us, and we need to get our return on those assets. So if they're not dispensing enough amount of beverages, then we need to replace that with a smaller machine. What we also know, we can run promotions, multiple promotions across different locations, and understand what promotion is working better. So the next time around, again, we are able to run more of what's happening and less of what's not happening. And all this kind of information is essential so that we can then partner with our customers to help them drive their business. Because if we promise to make you a beverage destination, then we need to deliver on that promise. To be able to deliver, we need insights, and this is how we get these insights. How does it all come together? I'm just going to show you a small video, and I hope this will come through. No.
Sarah owns a large fast food chain with Nestlé Professional beverage machines in 100 outlets. She uses powerful telemetry technology inside the machines to remotely access data, monitor sales, and enhance her drinks offering across all outlets. Nestlé Professional work with Sarah to analyze data and help her make her stores beverage destinations. Sales data shows there are 3 distinct opportunities for her business: using coffee to drive breakfast, introducing flavoured cold coffee drinks for millennials, and appealing to coffee purists with 100% Arabica espressos. Sarah can remotely access and enhance multiple machines at the same time, thanks to our suite of user-friendly tools. She remotely uploads beverage recipes to multiple machines, saving her time and money. Nestlé Professional help customize promotions and POS material for Sarah to promote her new offerings, and also help with sales data analysis to monitor daily performance. Using telemetry, Sarah can find out which promotions are driving sales in which outlets, so she can do more of what's working well and adjust what's not. Sarah can see the status of every machine and which are performing the best, helping her optimize her precious resources for maximum impact. This connected technology is available across a wide range of Nestlé Professional machines. Being connected has improved Sarah's business. Isn't it time to improve yours?
It's a little bit of a hard sell, but I took it from the sales deck. So essentially, this is what we're trying to do. We build this IoT platform, and our three key tasks essentially is to be able to really drive operational efficiency within our businesses, help drive cup volumes for our customers, and in the end, it's like I mentioned, it boils down to really providing exceptional customer service. So all this is great. This is glamorous, and we're on the trend. But like most things in life, there is a little bit of a rude reality to where we are. We've developed our own IoT platform. We've implemented telemetry in some of our markets, and we've been successful. But we are not where we wanted to be. We have taken longer than anticipated even to get where we are. We have some successful stories, but at the same time, we have some not so happy anecdotes that prevent us from rolling this out in a much faster way. But at the end of it, there have been lots of learnings, and what the important bit is that we've actually understood these learnings, and now we're taking steps to correct that. So for instance, 6 years ago when we started on this journey, we decided that we'd like to build our own platform. We are Nestlé, we're Nestlé Professional, let's do this ourselves. And today we know that we are not technology builders, we are not developers. We are a different company. So we decided finally that we'd like to partner with experts in actually building the platform. We don't want to build customized modems. We'd like to partner with people who already have that. We don't want to get into doing the pipeline, the infrastructure, the cloud platform, etc. Let us leave that to the experts. Let's partner with the experts in the industry. What we want to do is we understand our business. We'd like to use the data that this system gives us and drive our business. And we see what are the different models that come out of it. How do we really get value? So we decided that, okay, these are our strengths, so that's what we will do. And we leave the technology build up of it to the experts. So we're in the process now of partnering with a couple of companies to do that. And this is not specific. This journey of IoT or this pain that we've felt is not, it's not specific to Nestlé or Nestlé Professional. This is the industry. This is what's happening in the Internet of Things. In fact, Gartner does tell you that 75% of IoT projects actually take twice the amount of time. I cannot tell you how to reduce that. If I did, I wouldn't be here. But what I can tell you is 2 or 3 things, which is get your vision right. Get your objectives, right? Because there is a huge amount of hype around Internet of Things, but it has to serve your business objectives. So you have to get that, and then you have to create buy-ins. And I think you've mentioned that earlier, Tatiana, that you have to create those buy-ins across the hierarchy of your organization. 6 years ago when we started, there were no platforms that were available. There was no off-the-shelf platform that was available for our business that we could take. So we went through this journey. Today, there are platforms that are available, but still there is nothing plug and play. Even though end of last year, I made this big deck saying, yeah, we're looking for plug and play solutions, but even as I'm running the proof of concept tests across markets right now, I am painfully aware that there's going to be a lot of customization that's going to be done. And you have to take that account into the timelines or into the project plans that you build. And importantly, bring your external partners along with that journey, because they do not understand your business. They may understand the certain truths about the industry, but your business is going to be very specific, and they'll need to understand that to be able to customize the solution for you. And finally, but definitely not the least, it's about the people. So you can create the best tool, but if you place them in hands of people who've not understood what you're trying to do, or who've not been taken along the journey, who've not bought into your vision, then really it's just going to be a technology tool that's not going to be implemented. That's another thing I think has been spoken about earlier. It is, I think Alexander in the morning also mentioned that. It is really about the people. So these people have been working in this industry, in your company for decades, and they're not going to be able to change overnight the way they run business, the way they install machines, the way they install models. They've not even looked at data so far. And you're telling them now you want them to build insights out of these data and turn it into a service revenue model. So this doesn't happen unless you take them along with the journey. You can't just replace a bunch of those people with new millennials. It's not going to work. So you have to train them. And one of the things that we're very clear about this time around when we implement the new platforms is really working on change management, working on reskilling people. And if it needs a little bit of restructuring or reorganizing your particular business, then that needs to be done. And this is going to be a big part of our market readiness, as we call it, when we implement. So really, it's not about the technology. It's about getting your vision and getting the people to buy into the vision. So yes, invest in technology, but also invest in people. And that's what I have to say to you today. I know. I wrote to Oliver Widder asking him specific permission, and he was really generous, saying, you know, go for it, use it. So I thought that it was quite appropriate. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Arti. What a great presentation. I mean, the three of you have already proven, if there was ever a need to prove, that there are very many talented women speakers. And to those who say to us, and that's one of the reasons why we're having those conferences and meetups, we don't have enough talented speakers, women, and they're not applying, or we can't find them. But yes, we can, and we can help the organizations to find women if you don't know where to look at. So thank you very much. And I forgot to say your title, just in case. Arti Buxi is, if I'm pronouncing correctly your name, is the Global Implementation Leader for Connected Solutions for Nestlé. So sorry about that. So we have time for a few questions. And again, I'll try and keep them short so that we can have lunch, have the questions, have it all. Thank you. Who's first?
Oh, merci.
Don't forget to say your name.
Oh, hi, Mike Hayward, man. A lifetime of IT behind me. How do you bring in, it was fascinating presentation, et cetera, how do you bring in all the external events, such as localized weather, events such as citywide, countrywide, local events into your coffee machines, like So you know that you're going to have a really sunny week, so your consumption's going to go up or your consumption's going to go down. Things like Geneva's going to have the car show, so the amount of passing traffic's going to increase phenomenally, et cetera, et cetera. How do you bring that into your model? Thank you very much for your answer.
So that's a great question, and it is part of our pipeline, as we call it, or innovation pipeline. So mapping external data, like you mentioned, weather, or sourcing data from the from outside, saying these are the events that are coming up and that we should be present. So we are that is part of our let's call it innovation pipeline, in terms of how do we dovetail external data with our inventory management. We would eventually do it within the Nestlé business analytics or business intelligence systems, but increasingly we understand that we may not be the fastest or the best to be able to actually do that, and we would partner with external companies. So some of the vendors that we've already looked at for working on proof of concepts, we've already kind of vetted them whether they have the capabilities of doing that or not. Now, implementing it is eventually going to be a market decision. So if a particular market like Switzerland, in this case, believes that this is what they want to do, then yes, we'll help them implement it. Some other countries today only want basic information. They only want to know when the machines break down, because cost of technician is so expensive. It takes $200 to send a technician over. So even for if I can prevent one technician visit per machine, so that's already increasing the return of investment on a particular machine asset. So what we've done is put this into kind of simple, advanced, and super advanced features, as it were. And depending on a particular market, we would help them, needs of a particular market, we would help them implement what they require. You're welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
It's been reported that Internet of Things and connectivity may result in potentially loss of jobs or loss of work time. What is your opinion on this, or experience?
Okay, that's a great question. I can only tell you what my experience has been in Nestlé Professional. So far, we've not lost any jobs as a result of implementing this. But instead, what we've actually seen is we still need boots on the ground to do the regular business. What we've not had so far is enough resources, enough people to actually mine all the data that we've got, analyze it, be able to make sense of it, and then implement the output. So in fact, what we need is actually either people who have those skills eventually in the markets. And a lot of this hasn't been done because, one, people just don't have the time. Your standard salespeople, your standard marketing people are just so busy doing their everyday jobs that this is something on top, and no one has time to do that. So in my experience, actually, you may need to have some additional people or reskill the existing people, because eventually a lot of the jobs that they've been doing may actually reduce, and then they'll have to refocus on doing other tasks. So I don't see that as a big threat. It's more about reorienting your people with respect to what needs to be done, and then really looking for the right skills to make sense of all the data that you have and then drive business with it. So it just needs different rethinking, not less people.
Hi, thank you for an interesting presentation. It was basically focused on customer-facing business.
Yes.
So my question to you, and I come from Digital Switzerland, my name's Danielle Castle. My question to you is, what about the upstream processes? How are you applying IoT from the coffee bean to the machine?
That's a great question. We actually I personally am not in supply chain, so I have not done a lot of work myself on that. But I do know that Nestlé has been working a lot on the whole value chain process in understanding and sourcing from what they call from bean to cup. How do we source from the farmers, and how do we source sustainably from the farmers? How is that transported? How the material, the beans are transported into our factories, and then how they're converted. So there is a lot of work going on with respect to that, especially also in warehousing. If you want, I can get you more information, but I'm sorry, that's not my expertise, so I cannot give you more insight on it.
One last question. And I mean, hopefully, you're staying with us for lunch?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're going to be
I'm
able
so
to
hungry.
reach out to the speakers, letting them obviously eat a little bit.
Sorry, everybody's hungry. Be quick. It's just, out of curiosity. I own Google Home, and it was a gift, but it's quite useful, and it's mainly a toy for my kids right now. But
Yeah.
I also own a connected toothbrush and a scale and a kettle,
Yeah.
which I didn't buy on purpose.
Right.
So my question to you is very personal, and it's really very pragmatic. What do you think will be the products that stay connected, and the ones that are not very relevant? And right now, just you said, they're all hyped up. What do you think is really important and will
Okay,
stick?
I can give you my personal view on that. So Google Home or Amazon Echo, to quote an American statistic, there are more people in US who own Alexa than those who go to church every weekend. So I think your personal voice assistant is a device that's going to really stay, that's going to stick. And both Google and Amazon have enough muscle power to make sure that it becomes more and more relevant, and they're able to provide more and more useful services to you. So we're actually looking at a non-screen world in the future, where you can just ask Alexa or Google Home what to do, and then they will do it for you, or to buy standard commoditized products. Connected toothbrush, I really don't know. I don't know. And I have to say that there is a little bit of danger also, because when every manufacturer today can actually make everything connected, and if as a consumer you start using that connectivity, then that becomes kind of the weakest link in your entire home network, and that's open to attacks. So as companies who are manufacturing consumer products, we need to ensure that there is security by design that we bring into the products that we manufacture, because it's just very, very, very easy to hack into your toothbrush, and then as a result hack into the rest of your systems. Okay, so via an innocuous thing like a toothbrush, you could actually get hacked into other aspects of your life which you wouldn't want to. So as a consumer, I would be a little bit more reluctant to just connect my toaster or my toothbrush. And I also have bad teeth, so I know connected toothbrush is not going to help, but dentist visits will. But on the other hand, your personal voice assistants are going to, I do believe that they're going to stay, and the world knows that. And there is therefore important now for brands to understand how are they going to stay relevant in that world. Because when you ask Alexa to buy batteries, Alexa will only tell you that I have these Amazon batteries and they're cheaper than if you buy the same batteries on a screen on Amazon. So they're and therefore Duracell will just never have that ability to be present if you're just buying commodity product like that. So you have to really, brands are going to have to rethink their relevance when it comes to personal voice assistants. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. Big round of applause for Arti.
Thank you very much.
Did a great job.